Now delete is a bit more complex. Go back to my controller, and again I pasted in a delete, a cat here, okay? And it's just an exported function, and this time I'm using another function called find one and remove. Actually the one that's scaffolded, that's automatically built for you inside the full stack, is a bit different than this one, but in the new version of Mongoose they added this one where you can just find one and remove it in a single function, and I'm going to show you that one instead. So what we do is we again pass in the parameter ID, and if you didn't figure that one out yet, it's actually the ID that we get here as a parameter. That's the one we're passing in here. So we do that by saying request, that's the request we're sending, .params, that's one of the parameters that Express converts for us, actually the list of parameters that we're getting inside our call here. Right here, this is one of the list of the parameters we're sending. Convert that and get the ID parameter. Now how does it get the ID parameter? Well, if we go into index, we know that this guy is going to be the ID parameter. So let's just do the delete here, just to wrap this up before we read it any further. Delete, we get in the ID parameter, and we say delete cat, right? We save it. Again, try and read this, just spend a few seconds here to understand it. But again, I'm saying I want to do delete request this time. I want to add a parameter when I do the delete request, and I want to call this function right here when I do that. Now the function then says, okay, we hit this function, we do a request and response like we always do. That's coming from the callback. Then we say cat schema or cat model, find one and remove it with the request parameter that I just showed you. If everything goes well, response status will be 204, meaning that something has been updated or removed on the server, everything went well, and then end it. If we catch anything like we've done all the other times, just return an error. Okay, let's see if this works. Again, the first step for me is always to figure out if my grunt is actually running. It seems that something is running here. Let's try and go into Postman, and now instead of doing a delete, I would be able to, instead of doing a get, I would be able to do a delete. But remember, my ID have changed because I've just reseeded the database. So let me just start out by doing a get. I have my two cats again. Let me do this one, the remove of Pearl. Okay, so again, a slash, the ID, and this time a delete request. So just notice that I'm using exactly the same statements, but this time it's a delete request. That's how we do the REST APIs. That's how we make them very simple to read. So let's do a send here, and hopefully, oh, I shouldn't get an error, but I actually got an error. Let's figure that one out. Let's try and have a look at our body here and raw. I probably have some values in here. No, I do not. Let's do a send again. Yeah, it's because I need to fill out a raw body that's empty actually to make this work. So that was why I had to go into my body and do raw and make sure that JSON is set here and that the body is completely empty. That's just something you have to do with Postman. But now, if I go back and do a get again, and I get all my cats, and I do a send, now the cat is gone. Play around with this, make some cats. Every time you've deleted all your cats, you can always go back to your server, make a single change, save it, and do a refresh, and notice everything has been reseeded. So play around with the delete, play around with the get, see if everything's running. See you in the next lesson.